to everyone? And they're all on. Who did not get one? I did not get. Yeah. Yeah. All right. All right, everyone, I just want to kind of tag on to what she was just saying about the elevator speeches. So what did we talk about in that first week about networking and people don't want to be sold, they want to be helped. So in that elevator speech, how you make it, how you're helping them, how you can help them, not selling them, helping them, because that's what they want. No one likes being sold. But then what needs to happen right after that too, to also create that connection. What's the next step? That makes them want to stop, because now you've told them about you, but what's going to make them stop and talk to you a few more minutes?
Asking them to tell you about them.
Yes. Tell me about what you do. Tell me about what's going on in your world. Because now that elevator, that 30-second speech will now expand a little bit, because now they want to tell you about what's going on in their world. So take it that step further too, by creating that connection, by asking them about them, what's going on in their world. So that elevator speech needs to be to the point. And yes, how are you going to help them? How can you help them? And then how can you help them in their business when you ask them about what's going on in their world? How are things going? And asking them, what do you need? So yeah, take it that step further. So we're how many people in here are familiar with Tom Ferry, leading real estate guru in the nation, does huge conferences. Wow, he's powerful. So a lot of what we're going to talk about today is going to include some of his work as well, because he is incredible. So unlike many other jobs for a real estate agent, your all's income, your livelihoods depend on commission. Not all jobs are that way. There are others, but especially for real estate agents. So what happens is when we're talking about time management, it's about how you focus to create and expand more of your business. And there are times that you do have to go from a light bulb to a laser. And when and how you do that and being intentional with that time is very important, because that's going to be what expands and grows your business. Instead of just feeling like you're constantly flying by the seat of your pants and hoping something happens. So there are times you're going to have to get specific. But for sure, it's, so because everything for you all is dependent on commission, it's like 70%. You feel that need that about 7, you have to put in like 60, 70 hours a week to get that done, right? But then if you're putting in that 70 hours a week to get that done, what are you actually doing the income for? How are you spending? How are you getting that to be able to spend it for the times and things that you want to be doing? If you're making the money and you're not able to do the things you want to do with family or vacations or whatever, then so what? So that has to be the reason that you're doing what you're doing and how you work that in. And it's a matter of, again, light bulb to laser and the focus. Now we talked about the first week, how networking is important again. For a couple of years there, you all didn't have to do a whole lot of networking. It was coming in the door. Oh my gosh, it was crazy. It was flooding in the door. So then it was a matter, you were just trying to keep up a lot of times. Now it's about the networking again. It's about getting back out, making the connections, making the good connections. Where are the people that you need to connect with to create the business that you need? Also, how do you help those people as you meet them? So you have to get reinvested back into your community, into the connections. And some of that, a lot of times, can be the things that we really personally enjoy. With the business of saving dogs, the creation right there of the people. Guess what? Those other people that are taking in the dogs, or they need homes. So there's a natural connections, but now you get to enjoy it as well. I was telling you about a client that I have, she loves dancing, so she took dancing lessons. She has received more clients, she's an accountant in Indiana. And she has gotten more clients from her dancing class. It accounts for like 40 or 50% of her business now has come from referrals from her dance class. That's pretty incredible. So it can actually be things that you enjoy. So what have you found that you enjoy, that you're getting involved in and making part of your networking? So you get a little bit of both worlds there, the connection for business, but also the connection of doing what you love to do, something that means something to you. So we're getting down now to the point of working smarter, not harder. Last week, we talked about how mindset. If you don't think mindset is not important, you're wrong. It is very, very important. It is a key part of our work lives, our personal lives. Mindset matters. So we had to get those pieces in place to make sure you know who you need to network with. Where are they? What is it you want to get involved with to do? Making sure you're in the right mindset. So when we start the time management, and I really prefer to think of it as task management, because it's about managing the task that you have, because we all have the same amount of time. And it's about slotting those times to get them done. So mindset matters on if you think you can or cannot get something done in a time slotted amount of time or not. We had to have those things in place to get these things in place. So today is the time management, and we're going to talk a little bit about, so say, where's my glasses? Yeah, I'm a six pair of glasses person now. The reading glasses, if you're not there yet, it's coming. I'm just telling you, I still have the 20/20 vision. I just had my eyes checked a couple of months ago. It's the reading. It's coming. I'm just telling you, it's in the living room next to my couch, kitchen, purse, car, basement, car. Yeah, it's like six.
Beside your bed.
Yeah, seven. I'm a seven. Oh, yes, they're everywhere. Because if something happens at
And
night,
you
I
can't
gotta
find
see.
yours, you grab your husband's.
They become community glasses. They really do. They really do. We were at my son's like a band concert or something, and they hand out the little program, and I pull out my glasses and I'm reading. Jeff goes, "When you're done, I'll let me use this." I was like, "Okay, I'm done." I hand it to him, and then he's looking, and then my mom behind him types on his shoulders, "When you're done, can I borrow those?"
Restaurant.
It went back.
Reading the
and
menu
when you-
in a restaurant.
Oh gosh, it's getting worse. So how many times have you done this in a restaurant now?
Zoom it in. Yeah, I do it all the time.
Oh my gosh, but I swear they are getting smaller. I swear, I'm not being a boomer? I swear they're making them smaller. I swear. Anyway.
I'd say the restaurants are just darker.
And they are darker. And like, oh, darker. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway. So this is about working smarter, not harder. So now we've got the pieces in place. Are you thinking right? Do you know you can do this? Do you think you can do this? Or are you thinking, what the heck am I doing? Which is it? Where are you going to go? How are you going to make the connections? Where are the people? And what we're going to do is you have to get specific about your plans. If you're just flying by the seat of your pants, then things are just going to come at you whenever. Be specific. Again, where are the people that you need? I was just working with a private chef yesterday. Where are the people that you need to find? Where are they? Where do they go? Where do they hang out? What classes do they take? You have to find that. Now, studies also show that, I know how easy this is, and I know we were just talking about it. Phone rings, text comes in. And if I did that every time and I felt the need to answer that phone or answer that text every time it happens, what happens to this class? We're not going to get done, first of all. And how is that going to make you all feel? So we talk about in the networking part about you have to be intentional when you're talking with that person. And if you walk away from me or answer a call in front of me or a text, and I'm a potential customer, what happens? And I did that to somebody one time. That was a mortgage, and I was like, wow, okay, great. And I just walked away. Nope, because I'm a potential customer. So we're gonna get very specific. We're gonna first talk about where do you spend your time? And I just need to plug this. Oh, this is kind of where it's so tight. We've had to kind of put some things together here. It's over here. Oh, there it is. I had the wrong one. All right. So, creating a plan will help you, create specific practices toward your goals. And you have to be specific. And sometimes this also means about when do you take the time that you create a space where for 1 hour, I'm having to get things done and it's uninterrupted, because the studies is for every time you get interrupted and you're on a task and it's going great, and all of a sudden you turn, studies show, and this comes from Tom Ferry now, studies show that it takes 30 minutes to really get back on board and focus and get that task done. 30 minutes. But if you just get it done, have specific times that you're calling back, or have your phone forwarded to someone who can answer and say, I'm so sorry, she's in a meeting right now, but I'd love to take a message and have her call you back. But forward it, do something. But there are times you have to get things done and not get distracted. 30 minutes, that's a huge chunk of time. And if that happens more than once a day, what happens? Then you're not getting home till 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. And when you are somewhere, you can't focus, because if things keep coming in, because you didn't get to finish it over here. So it just keeps rolling in. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about where that time happens right now. Where does it come from? How many have ever heard of the Eisenhower matrix? And this is so hard. I'm used to having the big table. I'm having to kind of move stuff around. So we're going to go over here real quick, first of all, and talk about it. Maybe. Oh. Okay. Oh, the projector's off. There's got to be just a simple button there, sure. Is it the blue that's on there?
It's starting
Oh, where's Paul?
menu.
I can't read it where it's
Yeah.
upside down and far away from me here.
Hey,
And,
Paul.
oh yeah, I can't.
Or trying to be out
It's just gone off on us. Do you know which button it is?
It should be right there at the very top. Usually a power button.
Yeah, it's on, but you see the blue? Maybe it's-
That should do it, shouldn't it?
Now I went to sleep.
Maybe hit
Oh,
on.
yeah.
Did it get knocked out? Is it not?
It's on.
I think it has to be like a maybe that's.
Oh, I hear it going on.
Yeah.
Probably needs to heat up just a second. Yes.
We're
not-
not
Here
here.
we go.
I think that'll get it. I just don't know how.
Oh, it's conference single. It's going on. Okay, so how many have seen the Eisenhower matrix? How many have worked this? I'm trying to get them, try not to block you all, but at the same time, try not to be blind. How many of you all ever worked this before or seen this before? Stephen Covey uses this in his 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So we're going to go through the different quadrants of what's urgent and important, what's important, not urgent, what's not important and urgent, and what's not important and not urgent. So we're going to talk about what these things look like and what they mean and how you use your day. And I'm so sorry, just tell me to move whatever I need. I'll kind of try to move around so that I don't have to. So we're going to first talk about the things that are urgent and important. So these are the fires. These are the things that happen that you do not expect. These are the things that, this is the quadrant of necessity. This is if you get these are the emergencies or the crisis. These are the tasks that get delayed from here, which we'll talk about. These are the last minute requests. These are the deadline issues that need to be happening. If you get a call that your child has been in a car accident, oh yeah. This is here. These are the things that cannot be avoided. This is the crying baby. This is the kitchen fire. These are some calls. What would be a call that you might get that would be urgent and important, and you have to deal with it right at the moment? What do you all think? Yes. Yeah, and it's something, is it urgent and important now? What would make that urgent and important? They're just asking about a list. But what makes it urgent? If everything is urgent and important all the time, it creates burnout, it creates stress.
Maybe it's got a deadline.
There's a deadline. Now it could be, and the deadline is tomorrow. Now it's urgent. Now it's important, for sure. And we'll talk about definitely on the calls and what creates the urgent and important. There's that next step that made it urgent and important. There's a deadline and it's coming in. Oh yeah, it goes over here for sure. Ooh, boy, that gets blinding. But not everything will be urgent and important at all times. It won't last. You will get run out. You will get frustrated. You will start questioning why you're doing what you're doing. Things that are important, but they're not urgent. This is reviewing and making your plan. This is self-care that we were just talking about earlier about doing their walks every morning for now 27 days. Yes. Stairs.
Don't cut me short. It's
Too much stairs. Self-care, healthcare. Because you're making that a every morning. You're making that plan for your health. Working toward a goal. Could be weight loss, could be just better shape, whatever that is for you. For relationships. Recreation. This is the exercise. This is the learning something new. This is attending a class. This is not urgent, but it's important because it's helping you grow your business. This is the planning stage. This is the quadrant of quality and personal leadership. The results here are fewer of these, fewer crises, control, because yes, believe it or not, there are issues with your clients and calls that you can control. You have that ability and you need that. So this is the quadrant of quality and personal leadership. What about things that are urgent, but they're not important? These are some phone calls or emails. Busy work. We all know busy doesn't always mean productive. Interruptions, the unnecessary interruptions. There are times that we know if someone keeps interrupting, we know we need to get with them. We need to discuss whatever the topic is that's going on. Absolutely. But when they're just walking in your door and starting a conversation, when you are trying to get something done for a client that you know needs to get done, huge waste of time. Say, hey, why don't we get together? I've really got to finish this. It's learning how to create that barrier. I've got to get this done. I'm so sorry. Can we get together maybe at 2 o'clock? Why don't you come back at 2? I'll come find you. Whatever. Find the time and shut that off. Or just the needy. Oh, gosh. There's always, it's always some meetings. We talked about meetings before. The meetings that you really need to, is that meeting necessary for you? Is it something you need to be a part of? Or is it something that maybe it's not important, but you feel like you need to go because I should, as opposed to I need to go? Absolutely. So this is the quadrant of deception. The results from this one is progress is delayed because someone has interrupted you and you've not been able to get something done for a client, and now it's been delayed. All right. Another one here. Perfectionism. I mean, how do you know a perfectionist? Perfectionism falls in this category. It's not important, but to them it feels urgent that this has to be perfect, or they can't move forward. Creates procrastination. Perfectionism is a form of procrastination. Because they feel it's urgent when really it's not necessary at all. It's not important. But there feels that need that everything needs to be perfect. That's a hard one to hear sometimes, but perfectionism falls under urgent but not important. The very last one, excuse me. Excessive social media, excessive TV, too much planning. Yes, this is possible. If you're spending all of your time sitting behind your desk with a calendar or planning, but you're not getting anything done, this doesn't matter. Searching for that perfect tool. Sometimes it's a matter of jumping in and making it work. Maybe creating the tool that you need. And again, the procrastinating activities. Now you're actually spending all the time and it's a waste of time. So you have to decide. Now, the reason I put excessive is because we know that social media is key now for business, even my own. It's very important. We have to have some social media making a post. What was the points for the post? Making a social media post? That's necessary. So on this one, we're talking about excessiveness. We're talking about sitting and scrolling. Now, I'm not saying sometimes we don't need. I'm so sorry. I've been sitting a lot. No, you're fine. I'm not saying that sometimes we don't need the brain dead time. We absolutely do. We need that. My husband will say, we just watch a show that's funny or something that doesn't require us to think. We can just watch and just not think and not absolutely. Sometimes we need it. So it's okay to give you these times where you're not think about anything, where you're just able to sit and relax. So every now and then, allow yourself to do something. Don't get so stringent on these other things that you don't allow these things that just allow you to chill. Because sometimes these things will kind of try to go back to them. Okay, so I'm not saying completely avoid. I'm just saying choose when you do this, and then be conscious of how long have I sat here and I'm scroll through Facebook. But you know, when you're looking at my gosh, it's 30 minutes. Speaking of which, we talked about this last week. About Facebook and talking about posting on Facebook on someone's a previous client's post about something, and someone had that they had a baby, and you posted about, oh, I can't believe it's been a year now, and then it recreated the connection. What's that? Yes, it recreated the connection. So the other day, I had someone who used to be a client. It was a great connection. I hadn't seen them in forever. So she posts, and she always, almost daily, she posts something about coffee. She loves coffee. So all I did was say in the comments, I love our shared love of coffee. And I put a little, the little emoji for the coffee cup and a big smiley face, because I love coffee. And she responded, hey, stranger, not seen you forever. How are you? Want to PM me? She did. I mean, I looked down, the number's already up. And she says, hey there, how are things going? I said, going great. How have you been? I've missed seeing you. She said, well, things have been okay, great in my personal life, but I'm having to make some shifts in my business. Just trying to figure out what my new direction is. When are we going to get together? All I had to do was say something about something. So I had to sit and think. We had a real connection. We laughed when we had our meetings. We cried together when we had our meetings. It was great coaching sessions. And then they were over. Followed up a few times. And I lost it. I made that comment. She's like, hey, any direction you want me? So I had to stop and think about that. Was it a connection? We're going back to the networking. Was it a connection? Can you keep up with that connection, or was it a transaction? You have to decide. Are your clients a connection, or are they just a transaction? Yes, we can talk too much and try to sell all the time. No one wants to be sold, but everyone wants to be happy. Absolutely. When we listen to them, create a real connection and have importance to it, we felt really bad. But we had a real connection. Didn't keep up with it, even just short things on Facebook or go have a coffee or whatever. That was on me. That was on me. So, was she a transaction? Thank goodness she kept me in mind enough to want to reconnect and let's get together again. And she felt, that my work with her was enough that she wanted to do it again. So we'll be meeting next week for coffee, and it sounds like she's gonna want to do another, when I do my coaching sessions, I require 3 months. Because the first month, you kind of start to get a hang of it, not sure if it's working. The second month, things start falling into place and starts happening. By the third month, if I'm doing my job, things are happening. You're going, oh, here we go, this is awesome. So I require 3 months. So it looks like we're getting ready to start at 3 months. Sessions. 3 months of sessions. She knows that's what I require. She's like, so I'm looking at my spring and, I know this is going to be part of my schedule.
But how do you, I struggle with this because I've got 4 kids, husband, have another job outside of this, I work full time. Reaching out to these people, trying to make connections or doing it organically, like we talked about. Following it, like sometimes I just feel like I get so overwhelmed with that. Like, how do you categorize and find time to, it's just like.
That's exactly one of the things we're going to start doing. We're going to do that here in just a minute. We're going to get really specific about our time. Does that mean everything's going to happen exactly the way we put it down? No. That's crazy. Because sometimes something happens that changes things. Okay, so it doesn't mean it's always going to go as planned, but if you have a plan, at least you're able to get back on things and get them done. Whereas otherwise, well, I lost where I was and now you're off doing something else because I've come into the living room. I'm like, what did I do? So that's exactly what we're getting ready to do. Yep. So the first thing I'm going to have you do though, we're going to take a little bit of time here. And so I'm going to keep this up so you can see. So the first thing I'm going to, and it's hard to read some of these on the side here, and I apologize for that. My finger just did not pick it up well, and it's not picking up this on the side. And make sure that she gets one back here as well. Okay. I'm so glad that I know Jennifer so well.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Look at you.
Need one more. Sorry.
That's okay.
So I want you to be honest right now. Not what this right now is not what you're wanting to do. This is about what have you been doing? What are you doing? What things are you making urgent and important all at the same time? Now, and I know that may be kind of hard because sometimes it's that call that's come in that someone's been in an accident or there's something going on at school, okay? But are you making something urgent and important right now? No. And how do you review that? What time, when are you taking your time to plan, to review your plan, to your relationships? So just kind of write down these things that where you are right now, the things that you are taking care of and not taking care of. Where are you putting things in your life right now? If something's going on, and are you doing busy work right now on something for a client, a customer or a client? Is there some busy work going on that can be delegated? Because you really need to be doing something up here. Is there someone that can help you that is better at something here? This is the quadrant of delegating. This is where you need to be delegating. Did you get one? Okay, good. Good, 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 good. So as you can see, these are finishing these last minute tasks that have to be done. This one is your planning. This is where you delegate. Sometimes you have to watch on something that doesn't require anything right now. And of course, we've already talked about just monitoring your time on these. But this is the quadrant of delegation. What's wasting your time that someone else could be doing so you could be up here? Delegation is one of the best leadership qualities a person can have.
What if you have like this personality that you right?
So what happens if you feel like you can do it better and faster? But what happens is, so the person that you've hired to do that, or is there to do that, what are you teaching them? Absolutely nothing. You're setting them up to fail. They're gonna fail because they're not getting anything from you that they need to be working on. You may very well be able to do it faster and easier. I'm not saying you can't. But what I'm saying is it's eating up so much of your time and the other person will learn. So on the other side of that, man, it becomes a great benefit. Because now you know you can hand it off and it's gonna get done quicker and better because you've given them that chance to learn. Are you setting them up to fail if you're not giving them the work that you hired them to do or to be a part of it? Because if you have, either get rid of them or figure out what you're gonna do. Are you gonna give them the work that you hired them to? Otherwise, why are you paying them? So one of my dear friends I graduated high school with, she was an executive director of Channel News here in town several years ago. So what happened, she graduated from EKU, like I did. And so they would have all of the students come into the channel from their communications department that she graduated from as well. And they would come in, of course, to shadow and to learn. And she did that all the time. I could do it faster and easier. I could just do this myself. I can do it faster. So what happened was when the students were getting back to class, so do a paper. Let's talk about what you learned. I didn't get to do anything. I never got a chance. So what are they going to do with that when they're going to their work? Their own. And two, like, who can you kind of, who can you actually get to help you? Okay, so my husband, because of today's schedule and things going on, I'll be delivering 3 cases of trial while I'm here in town. I'll get that done, and I gotta get back to the house and get something else done. I have 1 more case of trial that I'm supposed to deliver tomorrow to Winchester. Guess who's gonna deliver that? It's not me. My husband works in Lexington here and he works out at Avon at Lockheed Martin. So he can either go through Winchester or he can go up the interstate and go around that way. And it's about the same. So he's going to go through Winchester and drop off the child. So who can you just help? He helped me mix one of these cases of child last night. Actually, he helped me mix 3. Do you care to come help me just get this in the mixer and then I'll take it from the box. I get everything done. So who can you just get to help you that, you know, when they ask you if you can help them, you are. Yeah, so sometimes it's not necessarily a hired assistant, but or is it someone in the front office that can maybe, if you are in a meeting that you do not need to be interrupted and you do not need to be answering the phone, because if you do, you're going to lose the person in front of you, you're going to middle of closing. And how does that make the other people feel? Who can you forward that call to? So you don't want to miss that call. I'm not saying that, but who can just for that 30 minutes take that call? Yes.
I was exactly like you, where I'm like, I feel like I can do everything better. And then hire a transaction coordinator, that was a person who's behind the scenes. And kind of like have friends and so finally like did you that Kelly? And that was changing. I was frustrated for going now and I can do exactly what she's saying, you know, meeting, and I could text her, like, hey, can you send that contact information? It's like, it's great. And then now I've got something like a Zillow, because I thought that I could do it all. And I set this meeting with the proposal, so that's transaction coordinator made. maybe do more transactions, the Zillow, maybe make more money, and then now what's in one. I used to. It's not as much with real estate right now, I guess, for I'm so new, it's just every day.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So that is, yes, but definitely be coming to that for sure.
Cause it's like, I've got,
All the time.
I have clients all the time, you know, I'll be doing somebody's hair, and if I feel like it's important, and I know it's somebody that's very established with me, and they know, I know that they're not going to hair. And some will even say, hey, if you need to go take that call, I'm fine to send your way, or whatever, but they'll say, oh my gosh, I see how you multitask like this, I see how you, painting color on foils and answering questions.
And the
about-
multitasking, yeah, well, it's a thing, it's been a big thing, but let me tell you what, it became a big buzzword. Big buzzword. And still is in a lot of cases. What happens is, and we talked about this, I think it was last time, about if you're trying to do everything at once, something gets lost on you.
It does.
It will happen. For example, what if you don't get perms anymore, but what
Actually,
if,
they do.
do they? Are they
Yeah.
coming back? Oh, no. Are you serious? Are they
They
coming
get
back?
perms, yeah.
Oh, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm an eighties baby, so that's a very hard one for me. Like the temptation is there. Not doing it. But we'll just use a perm. If you were to walk away and take a call now, what happens if that stays too long in the hair?
Well, I know when I can and when I can't.
Right, no, and that's what I'm saying. And the clients, I mean, you know what you can and can't walk away from, and just moving that over into the other things is one of the things we're gonna be talking about in a few minutes on how we make that happen. How we get a specific.
I just sometimes feel like, oh my gosh, there's
Too
two
much.
hours of the day.
Yes, and that's exactly, it's about the task management, and we're gonna work on that here.
But you magic
Just-
wand out.
Yes. So, but how many in here love the beach? How many love the beach? Okay. I don't love the beach. I don't. Take me to the mountains anytime, let's go hiking. Love it, but I'll go to the beach. I'm not saying I hate it. I'm just saying it's not my favorite. But what happens is what happens if you pick up sand, have it in this hand, and you hold it and you squeeze it, trying to control it, and you squeeze and trying to hang on to it for your dear life. What starts to happen? The more you squeeze, it leaves. It just starts seeping up your fingers, down the side. Yeah, nope. So it's about the control that you can actually lose. But what happens if you go instead? The sand is going to stay because you have more control. As opposed to expecting and losing. Because when we're talking about the losing, we're talking about the time that you're losing, you're having time with family, or you're having just, you just want to go have a massage, or I want to go get my hair done, not a problem. And the thing is, if whoever's answering for you, or whatever's going on, I'm so sorry, I'm in an appointment, or I have an appointment. We are in such a society of now. I'm so sorry, I have an appointment at 2:00. What if I'm that 2:00 appointment? Are you gonna cancel me? We talked about this. Are you gonna cancel me so you can take care of this person who wants to see you at 2:00? And they're very adamant. And what usually does that person turn into? When they're that kind of client? Trouble. Oh my God. They're the trouble ones, and they're the ones you're gonna talk about the rest of your career. I had this client. And they were horrible. Because that's usually what it's gonna be. I have an appointment at 2:00. And I promise as soon as I'm done, I will call you back. Will 3:00 work for you or 3:30? Is that okay? You know what? I call my dentist and then I'll say, I want in at 2:00 today. I'm gonna be off. I'm gonna come by. I work my teeth clean. What do you think's gonna happen? Yeah, what? Or my hairdresser, hey, Earl, I'm off. I'm gonna come by and get my hair cut. What? Am I going to leave him because he told me no to a time? No. Because I love him. He gives great customer service. I need a haircut now. I'm not leaving him just because he can't see me at 2:00. I'm not doing it. I'm not going anywhere. You're taking care of your clients and you're giving them, you're loving on them, and you're talking with them and being with them and taking care of them. If you say, I'm so sorry, I have a 2 o'clock appointment, I'm already booked, hey, can you do 3? We're going to most likely either say, yeah, that works great, or, well, I can't do 3, how about 8 o'clock in the morning, does that work? Yep, that works. Find a time. But that one who is so demanding of the now, and well, if you can't see me at 2 o'clock, and I don't care that you have another time at 2 o'clock, that one's not so good. That would be the one that for a long time. And you're never gonna want to deal with it again. And if they send you a referral, you'll but be the same or not. Right, So did everyone feel some in? So just take about 5 minutes. I'll play some music here and fill some things in that you're taking care of that should not be urgent and important at the same time. There are certain things urgent and important. A car accident is much different than answering that call when you're with another client. If there's a deadline on something, that's not what that is urgent and important. Just fine, all day. Baby belly spa.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Okay, all right.
Oh, wow. Well,
I put it over here, but I've done my last.
I saw that, the last place, yes. Okay,
Before
I'll
the
just turn this up
class.
a little bit, because it's not gonna take it.
I put it with the self-care stuff, but I went before class. So
That's so
I
awesome.
did. Nailed
But you,
it.
27 days now, you've done the steps, 27 days?
Yeah.
Awesome. The
Yeah,
steps,
so I'm gonna do that, yeah,
that's awesome.
around after class today. As long as I do it at some point, I don't have a certain time.
Okay, as long as it gets done.
30 minutes a day.
Nice.
The hardest
Nice.
machine, I can do anything
Nice.
today.
And you're making it, it is important to you. It's not urgent, so you'll get it done when you can, whatever time that is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so.
Because
like
it is-
last night,
it is
I did it at
important.
8 o'clock,
Yes,
so I will do it about 1 today.
Gotcha.
Start picking my daughter up.
because it is important, but it's not urgent, so you're planning
Yeah.
and making sure it happens.
And that's all I got. I mean, I'm not dedicated, I'm not spending it.
Right, no.
I'll spend an hour to get lashes done. Priorities. I don't know, I didn't feel maybe pretty, yeah, I guess. That was there. I'm gonna go with that, No, I like a little, but not ripped like spider legs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm feeling the like mass, and
I'm
I'm like,
good, like,
That's why I was asking, some of them I think they're like, yeah.
yeah. I know someone that, how she does hers, I'm not kidding, you could count, because they're so separate. You could actually count the number of lashes that she got. It's crazy. I just, when I catch myself talking to her, I'm like, look at her lashes going, yeah, I did not know. And I was crazy. All right, I'm just gonna take a couple more minutes here. And then we are really gonna get down to some business. Yes, yes. that is that brain dead time. It's just like, I just enjoy this and I just want to be able to enjoy it. And not think, and not-
No.
yes, something that you know, I am wasting time. Do I really even enjoy it? Am I just killing time? Am I wasting time? You enjoy, you like, so you can actually schedule that. So where are you just losing time? Some of these series are crazy. Oh my gosh. But it's okay to allow ourselves some of those. It's okay to allow ourselves that hour, you know. Yeah, absolutely.
What I'm doing wrong though, is I'm playing in the background, my ADHD mind, and I'll be working. and
Gotcha.
Semi-listening, semi-working. and that's probably-
Right. And that's exactly, that would go here. So is it instead, is there music in the background where you can listen, but still get the job done and not feel like you're losing attention by watching something?
Yeah.
Yes, you're just listening and you're moving. Because I work better with music. I work better with music, for sure.
Like your nights at all.
Yes.
Just trying to get mine.
Yes,
But movies, like, and Pluto, it takes a lot to focus in on. Busy.
right. So you do not need to have a movie on if you're,
Probably not.
yes, yeah, yeah. So that would fall here, for sure. Yes. Yeah. Recent studies have shown, I find this one very interesting because a lot of my clients like to meet in coffee shops and listen. So before I started, I grew up in a household where both parents smoked and drank coffee. And it didn't matter if it was 6 in the evening, there was a pot of coffee on it. So you would think out of 4 kids, I'm on the list of 4, that at least one of us would smoke and or drink coffee. Not one of us, not one. Until my clients wanted to meet in coffee shops. I'm going to support the business I'm going to. And I literally walked out and said, I want to order a coffee, but here's the deal. It can't taste like coffee. And you taste like vanilla, caramel, chocolate. I don't care, anything but coffee. Let me tell you, by the time she finished with that thing, it was called a Cloud 9. That's how well I remember it. It did not taste like coffee. I was like, oh, I'm a coffee drinker now. What was that? But the point about coffee shops, the studies are showing people get more accomplished when you are needing to get something done, like it's focused, it's, you know, it's a presentation, whatever it is. People get more done when they are sitting in a coffee shop than if they're sitting behind a desk at work. It's because of, it's first of all, you look around, everybody else is working. So it's a little bit of peer pressure, like everyone else is on the computer doing something, I need to be doing something too. The hum, the sound in the background. You can't really focus on anything until you hear them blast that screamer and it'll send you out of your seat. But it's just this hum. There's no focus on any particular conversation or anything. So it's a hum. And people accomplish more in coffee shops than they do behind those desks. To the point of, there are now apps, you can download these, it's coffee shop sounds. And you put it on your speaker in your office, if you're in your office, and you play it while you're working. That's how big it's become. You can actually download the coffee shop sounds.
In text makes happier.
Yes, well, they do. Oh my gosh, I love going into an office and people have to pet. Yes, now I understand there are some people that have fear. Okay,
Place
But-
your fears, people.
Oh. but my goodness, when I walk in someone, it's, you know, it's funny, I can walk around the park and I know the dog's names playing with people. Like, oh, good for her. You know, because oh, he's so cute. How old is he? What's his name? Yeah, next time I don't even ask. And your name is?
Yeah.
I don't even ask, but I remember the dog's name when I see him next. Absolutely. We had someone in our old neighborhood that the way I remembered the dog's name, it was Pepper and Patty. Anyone familiar with Pepper and Patty? That's how I had to remember their names, but that's how I remember the names. All right, let me go and stop this one. All right, so we just talked about yours here with the movie playing and trying to do some work that you love movies, so you can get engrossed into them real quick. And if you're trying to do those two things at the same time, you can plan to come to just watch a movie because you love it. Yeah, right, because you love it. So why not? No, this is your downtime of brain dead time. Absolutely. Anyone else have anything like, oh, This is just a waste of money.
I had to get on social media just to do a post.
Well, then
Or
scroll
one,
and then
you-
scroll.
And then start scrolling.
And then you look down and.
And it's okay to maybe allow yourself a little bit of time of scrolling, because if I didn't scroll that day and comment on my previous client's hobby post, I would have never made that connection, reconnection with her. She was not a transaction. She wasn't. We had a great connection and I let it slide. That was on me. I made her feel like she may not have felt that at all, but I sure felt it when I realized it, that she was a transaction. But yeah, we had a great, you can tell me right now, the very clients that you know you've made a great connection with in the past. I guarantee you, you can think of them, you know their names, you remember them, you remember the kids. But you also remember the ones that they didn't care to have all of that and they were just a transaction. Not that you don't want to keep up with them too, but they were a transaction. Because we're the transactions, because we're the ones who are going to send you the referrals. Loved working with her. She was great. We had a great time. She showed us 20 houses. Woo. Yeah, they're the ones that's going to tell others. Sure.
I will say it's hard. If you are accepting someone to be like a kind of which is a problem over here. I'm someone having an acquaintance that's close, that trusts me, that I want to then have to be present.
Yes. But it's okay to sometimes have those presents with them at times. She's going to be being choosy, and they'll come up and
Being choosy and not trying to progress.
yeah, yes, yes. And as we get older, I can tell you what has happened for me too. When it comes to real connections, it makes a big difference.
Real connections are fantastic and safety, but it's.
Where you have a connection, there's a difference. There's a difference in the connect. There's a difference in the close connections and the relationships that you do want to work on, and those, but it's still a relationship that is just a different.
Because you have, I mean, there are people you have to put boundaries with on day one, but they still buy out.
Yeah.
So you don't
Yeah,
wanna like.
yes,
not-
right. You don't want to dismiss them
Most
completely,
like 70%.
because they have to have a house too. So yes, absolutely. So yes.
Just
Yeah.
wanted to create a.
All right. So this, again, this is about what being smarter, not harder. We're getting ready to work on something. It's about going from a light bulb to a laser, which in the laser. We all know that busy is not the same. Busy is not the same as effective. It is not. Busy is not the same as effective. When you gain control of your time, you gain control of your life and your goals and where you want to go personally and professionally. And there's also the 80. How many people have heard of the 80-20 rule? Yeah, that you will get 20%. You will gain 80% of your work completed and 20% of your time that actually works. So the rest is busy work. So we're going to go down to that 20 where you're going to gain 80% of your business. It's about the focus in that time. Because here's what happens. How many people have not been able to get ready for a vacation and you have a packet and your flight is tomorrow? How much are you getting done in that 20% of the time that you're able to get packed and ready to fly? Yeah. So yes. So, but it's amazing how you can get 80% of that packing done and getting ready for that trip, and 20% of the time that you needed to get ready. It's amazing. So what we're going to talk about is these times that you're going to schedule where you are going to work on the 80% of the business you want to bring in and doing it in less time and getting it done and having someone to hold you accountable. Are you in your power? Has anyone heard about a power?
Power outing or
Power hour. I like the power outing. That's a good one. Yes. Power outing. Power hour. This is a couple of times a week where you are blocking off 1 hour. Where you have, is it a hanger on your door that says do not disturb? is that I have one client that all of her employees, she had them write down what their goal was for the new year. And, you know, it was a new car, a vacation, or whatever it was. So on her door, she put up this beautiful poster board. And each of them had their own segment on this poster board and had a picture of them and had a picture of the things that they were working for, their why in the work. And so each of them had their own things, new car, vacation, more time with grandkids, whatever the case may be. And right in the middle was this bullseye says, do not disturb. This is what I'm looking at. Because her job is to bring in the business to help them have work to get where they want to go. So she had to sit and find that time uninterrupted to make those calls, to finish that paperwork, to get this ready. So that she could bring in more business and get things done to make room for more business. It's a beautiful poster board. So anytime they were tempted to come up and knock on that door, she said it better be a fire or someone's waiting if you knock on that door. She did. And she pretty much threatened, if you knock on that door, it better be something big going down. Because I gotta make the calls to bring in the business to get things done so I can help you keep a job. Don't you? At an insurance company that the agent himself, you know, they put up their power outage. So, you know, the creativity with some of them have been great, like glitter and saying, do not disturb, do not disturb, I'm busy being awesome. I mean, the things have been so great to see some of these door handles and some of these posters. But the actual agent kept interrupting, even when she was in her power hour and had her thing up. And she finally said, stop. You see the sign, you know that could have waited. I need to get this done. Stop. And if you do it again, I'm telling Cindy. But she had to call him out on it. He was the boss because she couldn't get her job done, which would spiral. It can and will spiral out. All right, so let's get moving on this. All right, and I'm going to lead this up so that when you are going through this, you have this to go to. So some things as well. And this one. Just pass those around. So this is a 1 week calendar. If you have a paper calendar, which I still do love to use, if you do use a paper calendar at all, please use a pencil because things change. If it's in ink, it's hard to change. You want to be able to go back. If this doesn't work, then I need to move it to a different day and time. So a power hour at least once a week where it's uninterrupted time that you're getting those little things done that have to get done. So if you need to flip over on the back and write on the back, you're in a power hour. What is your agenda in that power hour if things are going to get done? Is it making, prospect calls? Is it, what are you doing? And is it breaking it up? I'm going to spend 30 minutes making these calls. I'm going to spend 15 minutes, getting this done, and I'm going to spend 15 minutes getting this done. Or is it the whole hour of I need to do this one thing? It needs to be my focus. But create, turn over in the back and create things. What would that power hour look like to you? That when you go in, that you're wanting to get done during that power hour, and there's no interruption.
So you want us to create a power hour?
Yeah.
Each day?
Choose, and I'm not saying it may change in time. It may change when you realize that doesn't work at that time. So create in there one, depending on what you need, how busy you are. The busier you are, the more time you're actually going to need to get things done, right? So if you need 2 power hours, but where is the best time of day that you can put that you're putting in power hour? Then you're also going to put in the things like 3:30 pick up kids from school. This is for the week. This is for a week. Picking up kids every day at 3:30, so that needs to be in there. What else might?
Consistent.
Some consistency, like I know if I don't go to the post office at 2 o'clock on Thursdays, I'll never get to the post office because I always forget. And does it happen every Thursday at 2 o'clock? No. But because it's there and it reminds me, if I don't get there at 2 o'clock, I may get there at 4 o'clock, or I may not get there till Friday, but it's on there, so it reminds me, you gotta get to the post office. So it's part of my calendar, and what's also part of my calendar is on Wednesdays, this is where I am, every Wednesday afternoon from 2 to 4. Because I'm horrible, I hate administrative work, I hate the paperwork. So from 2 to 4, my time is blocked off because I have to get my reports done, my invoices done, or I don't get paid. So if I don't get that done, what happens? So from 2 to 4 on Wednesdays, that's where I am. Does that mean that I don't get a call? That something has happened and oh my God, I gotta get somewhere. My mom is struggling right now with something and I've got to get to her. Sometimes this will happen. But how and where do you create that power hour? And where are many of my clients and, oh my gosh, Ferry, Tom Ferry talks about this, how, you have to also create the space where, not have clients do this, audience, where you are returning calls, texts, and emails 3 times a day. If you happen to be in a meeting and someone's left you a message or you've gotten an email, because remember, let's go back to, as soon as you get distracted, how much time does it take to get back on task and really focus, refocus? 30 minutes. He talks about this. It's very difficult to refocus. That's a lot of time wasted. So he is adamant about how do you create that space of I return all calls, texts, and emails at 9, 2, and 4:30. There are some of my clients who just call right now. We can get their voicemail that says, "Hi, I'm so and so with so and so, and I'm so sorry I missed your call. Probably in a meeting. But I do return all calls, texts, and emails at 9, 2, and 4:30. You will hear from me because it works for that business. She's able to do it. But sometimes for you all, if the call is different than the email, right? So where do you set up time that you are catching up with emails during your day? Yeah, where is that you're sitting down and you are going through your emails and responding? 30 minutes. Give yourself 30 minutes. It may only take 15. That's okay. Because now you have that extra time. But where are you returning those emails? At what point? Because if you're doing it on a fly, or if you're doing it with a bunch of other things at the same time, again, the focus, now the multitasking, and how is that turn? There's something wrong with that. Also included in here, at the end of your day, and I know you're like, the end of my day, it's 9 o'clock. At the end of your day, let's say 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, okay? Somewhere before you stop your day. Take 15 minutes, add it somewhere in there at 4:45. 15 minutes to look at tomorrow. What's on my schedule for tomorrow that I need to get done? What's coming up? So that when you leave, when you walk out the door, or you're walking into the door at home, you've already looked at tomorrow and you're already prepared for that. And what happens is we get home, and what happens? What's the committee in our head?
Yeah.
Itty bitty shitty committee to really get started, all right? And we're laying down and this committee is still going in our heads and we're overthinking things and we're worried about things. I'll remember that when I get up. I gotta remember that. I gotta remember that. I'll do it because I've said it 400 times now. I'll remember. Then you get up next morning, you go. Get halfway through your day and you go. Put a little pad next to your head and a pen. I'm at the point that I don't even open my eyes. I just go over, I grab a pen, I write 3 words, 2, 3 words that reminds me what I need to do when I get up in the morning. After I've stretched, washed my face, I go back and I look at that list to see what it is I need to make sure I don't forget. And I rip it off and I put it wherever I need to remind me to do that. So put things in place to help you control. So have a pad next to your bed. keep a to-do list, keep something with you at all times, or, you know, the dictation, what is it, the dictation they have, most of you can remember to add things. But that's some things you can control. But where are you adding in your today to reflect on tomorrow? And at the end of the week, Friday or whatever, you're gonna look at the entire next week. What's coming up next week? So on Fridays at 5:30, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna look at my calendar for next week. So that I can, then I'm gonna come back and look specifically at Monday or Saturday, depending on what day you're working next. We'll look at the next day specifically, but I'm also gonna look at my entire week next week, so I know what's coming up and being prepared for it. Okay? It doesn't have to be about the city of Phoenix. Some other things to add, you have your power hour, calls, text, emails, lunch, give yourself, he is very, very adamant about this. Barry is like, we are not robots. We are people. We also have to have time for lunch. We gotta have time to sit down with friends. So schedule your lunch. Schedule the time that you're gonna actually sit and grab a bite. You gotta have it. So schedule it and give yourself that break, and that breather, because when you do jump back in, that's feel a little bit better. Instead of stress, you have a chance to breathe. When you refuel, it does feel better than if you just keep going and it just becomes hectic. And then you leave the day, it's not, it's just making it better. Control. It's about controlling your day, controlling your what you can and cannot put into place. Also, a community calendar at home. This is something we did because my gosh, between my son's practice, the soccer games, the oh my gosh, the saxophone, the everything. So I bought a calendar for the house that sits on the kitchen counter. It's open to the week, and it's the community calendar. If something is going on with your family, they are to put it in that calendar. So that way, if I'm wondering what does Jeremy have coming up, I can look at that and see. Or if Jeff is wondering where am I at today, oh, she's in Lexington today. And I have those times marked out. So anyone in the house can look at it and know where I am and what's going on. And I know where they are and what's going on. It's a community calendar. Or they have a community calendar down you can do online. But make everyone responsible for doing their own, because then that gives the accountability even for their own stuff. And we're not talking like if they're 4 or 5. You can say, no, when you start learning right, you don't have to put your time in, okay? But if they are open up and they can do that, give them that responsibility, because if it doesn't get in there, hey, you didn't say anything. Yes.
I'm very frustrated this year, now that we're going to get to things. And this one's something very small, but I feel like it's probably need to one. Either maybe having a meltdown over it way too often. She would have me schedule my group. And actually put 15 minutes to read on my calendar. I can outside, go down, and go fit, and whatever. And that 15 minutes up, and then that's the next one. Yes. And it was totally different. Sometimes, like, I started with 4 times a day. 4 times a day, I had 15 minutes to read. And then, like, after the
Why are we getting nobody's hair done? It's basically on the toilet, it's long.
So what would happen if you don't care to share? If you didn't schedule that time to grieve and you just kept grieving internally and not finding that time to express it and get it out, what would have eventually happened to you? What would have eventually happened to you emotionally and then physically?
Yeah, we'll turn out. Yes.
Absolutely. Don't set yourself up to fail.
But it also was like really good too to know that it was coming. So like I felt myself getting emotional at 10 a.m. I'm like, nope, shut up, Terry, you can breathe at 11.
Yeah. I'll be right to 11. You can control many of the things that you think you can't. It's about scheduling. It's about, that's it. It doesn't stay that way all the time. Things happen. They happen. But what needs to go in here? This is where growth. This is where your business is going to grow and expand. When you're attending, it's not important. It is important, but it's not urgent. But you're attending a networking event with one of the dog. Yeah, there. You're attending an event because you never know what's going to come from that, and it's important to you. And you never know when you're going to get business from this. someone is eventually gonna say, "I think I'm real too." Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. All right, so add some things in, add in your, and sometimes if you don't plan your goals, then you know what? Good luck. Very, very good luck. I'm not saying you can't get there. It's just gonna be a lot harder than it really needs to be. So is part of your day, your power hour, is part of that my goals? What do I need to accomplish tomorrow to reach my goal? What needs to happen tomorrow? And that could be in that power hour. Okay, that I do need to make part of my plan tomorrow. Looking at tomorrow and when are you scheduling to call so and so or to attend something? That power hour, light bulbs to a laser. This is it, guys. This is that 80% is going to come from just 20% of your time being specific. This is your power. You need it twice a week. You need it once a week. And then the other things, what needs to happen? Are you attending a networking event? Or what happens for this one? You know, it'll be 4 weeks in a row, 5 weeks in a row, and then that should be in your calendar. It should be in your calendar. Excuse me. So we're talking about, and you're gonna laugh at this one, and I'm gonna put it up, I can already tell you that. So we're talking about your lead generation preparation. Then the lead, this is where you're making, the scripts that need to happen, how you're gonna say what you need to say. This is making copies that you need to make of the lead generations themselves. What needs to happen, where is it gonna happen throughout your day? When are you gonna plan? Responding to communication, we're going to talk about that. When are you going to respond to, particularly in this case, we're talking about emails, but during your power hour, we're also talking about how do you go interrupt with the phones and texts. You put it in the other room and clients know that you're loving on them and taking care of them. Message. Expect you to answer immediately every time. What if you are at this minute? What if you are frustrated with your mom? What if you are? If you're taking care of me, the message goes, you know what? I don't know about it. So when are you responding? When are you setting up times throughout your day to respond? What about your lead conversions? When does that happen? Be specific about what time of day, what day are you going to work on those? Showing your listings. I want to make sure I get this right because Tom Ferry actually talks about this. And I was like, wow, I did not realize that. So I'm looking forward to you all kind of giving me feedback on this. He says that the main times that people will focus, oh my gosh, I wish I could find this. I love his work. And if you all have not done anything with him and done any of this stuff, please make some time in your calendar. Plan some time of working toward your goal. That's self-care. This is self-care as well. It's helping you learn and grow. But the best times, the times that people typically, this is really what I mean. Crazy. I'm gonna have to email you all this because I don't know what I've done with it. I thought I had it part of my notes. Certain times of the day that people, first of all, that they'll answer their phone is like from 9 to 11 or 4 to 6. The other times of the day are not as popular. Those are the popular times. So this may be different for you depending on your clients. Are they answering more between 9 and 11 and that's when you're making your calls, or is it 4 to 6? Then this is true too. Yeah, very true. Very true. So when are you putting those in? When are you making those calls? When are you showing your listings? The showing of the listings, the most popular was 4 to 6. That sound right? What do you all think? 4 to 6. Launch in your personal responsibilities and make sure you give everything a start and an end time. What do you have in your calendar? Make sure the power hour, you start at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. You better be done because you're wrapping it up. You're getting done. I have an actual hourglass. Because I just love the same moving through. I love that concept instead of a time. So if I look up and say, oh, that looks like maybe about 20 minutes, I better get my stuff done. And each one. So be specific. I'm gonna start this at this time. I'm gonna do my power hour. I'm gonna make these calls at this time. I'm gonna get it done. Because what's next on the calendar? That doesn't mean you're not gonna have empty spots throughout the calendar where you fill in and other things happen. Absolutely, it will happen. Of course it will. All right. So, everybody filling some stuff in. We're going to take about 5 minutes to fill in more where you can, where you think, even little things that you just don't think matter, do, like picking up the kids at school. Make sure they're in your calendar. Control your day.
I have to get back to this and get on this.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm going to.
I gotta go have that lovely annual.
What may happen to be Dr. Patel with? No.
I might hope
That lovely annual.
Yeah.
That lovely annual.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fun.
Is it not small turkey today?
It actually told till 12, so I know what it's doing. We're right. And we're right. No, you're fine. And we are
I
wrapping up.
filled it out.
Yep. Nope. Yes.
Okay.
So now it doesn't matter if you don't do it. It doesn't matter if you don't do it. It doesn't matter if you don't follow through with this. You control your day. You control your day. You control your world and your business. And that's what this is about. So yes. Yeah. Oh, it's not here. Yes. No, I'm here.